Good evening. Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is Frank the Vamp, and tonight we're gonna talk about another horror film in Spanish, and we're gonna talk about another cheesy film, and we're gonna once again go back to that simpler time. I promise after doing Santo, uh, contra las momias de Guanajuato, Samson versus the mummies of Guanajuato. We were gonna talk about one more Samson movie, and if you guys enjoy El Santo, which was a really popular Mexican wrestler, um, and who created a big line of very low budget horror movies in Mexico in the 1970s and 1670s and 80s. Um, I would keep cranking them up. I saw a whole bunch of them, and there's many of them still very much available, accessible, and around. And they represent a simpler time. Today we're going to talk about Santo versus las Mujeres Vampiro, Samson versus the Vampire Woman, and the Vampire Women. I'm sorry. And the why did I choose this film in particular? Well, this is the one that was chosen to um, be displayed in Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is an awesome program that I used to really enjoy. And they kind of do this riff track thing on them on the Samson movie, which makes it even more enjoyable because it's just pure cheesy. I mean, let me take you back to a simpler time, so you can understand the context of this movie. Picture yourself being a kid like me, being really young at that time. The movie theaters crowded with kids. It's Saturday morning matinee. Floors are sticky of soda, gum, candy, popcorn. Um, you know, Everybody just eating their heart away, watching this movie, enjoying each and every one, being scared, and tossing things at the screen at each other, being completely immature. And that's what this movie is all about. It takes you back to simpler times. I said it on the other video. Wrestlers in Mexico were regarded as superheroes. So this is, there's no explanation why El Santo Samson goes and solves crimes or fights vampires, werewolves, whatever you have. He just does. He's just the chosen one. So being the chosen one, this movie it's really cheesy, really bad. I mean, the budget is terrible. You can Samsung himself, once again, just like the other movie, he doesn't show up for the entire first half of the movie. Um, let me throw in a couple of criticisms and tell you what I think about the movie. But um, where do I begin, guys? This is so cheesy and so bad that it's good. You get the laughter, but it's not as good as uh, you know Samson versus the Mummies. The Samson versus the Mummies was much better. This one, it's a little bit of a headache. Let me tell a story. Why don't we begin with that? Because I'm gonna ramble on with this one. So we have Samson, and he's what else? Well, he's dealing this time with vampire women, and this one is directed by Alfonso Corona Blake, starring El Santo, of course, and Lorena Velasquez, the beautiful Lorena Velasquez. She plays this vampire, leader that um, married the devil. Actually, you see the devil in this movie, yeah. Um, I think the plot is something like the vampire women need a. I'm not sure that they're looking a bride for the devil, or they're looking for a husband, or it's really not clear, and we really don't care. But what happens is that vampire women show up, resurrect, and Samson is the only guy who can stop them because he's the chosen one. And they got to get this girl who apparently is one that's going to replace or block one of the vampires, so she's got to be killed. And they try to kidnap her, but they can't, because Samson is protecting her. And they use, one of the things that, I mean, it's just so bad. I mean, there's not much to say. That basically the first half of the movie is just them, is the vampire women, attacking some people. The there's some men, there's some male vampires, and what they do is pretty much just wrestle. They wrestle Samson. They wrestle anybody that gets into the way. They capture the men and women so that they can bite and feed. And once they feed, it's like, at first the vampire women, they're all deformed, and then they eat, and then they become, they become beautiful. One thing to this movie's favorite is that what's her name? Lorena Velasquez is hot. I mean, she's really beautiful. And the queen of the vampires. The little bit of she's on screen is great. Samson comes in and just pretty much kicks ass. I mean, that's all he does. He just kicks butt all movie throughout. He just wrestles. This dialogue composed to, I don't know, 20 lines maybe. And I mean, his deepest acting is saying, "Oh, it's my destiny to defeat vampire women." Um, where does So this film, we know that the plot is really cheesy. The effects are awful. So what is the redeeming quality of this movie? It's the cheesiness. It's just the fact that the little vampire bats, the little paper things you see. You laugh at that. I definitely recommend watching this movie if you can find the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode. That would be awesome. Because that makes it even, you know, you're gonna laugh anyways. That's so bad. The acting is so bad. Oh, the professor. There's this professor. The mother. It's so over the top acting that it's just awful. Um, the vampire women actually, they're hot. Um, the wrestling sequences are not as good as the mummies, but they're good. I like the. If you're a fan of wrestling, you're definitely going to check out when the vampire, um, you know, knocks out a real wrestler, and he dresses like he pretends to be the wrestler and goes and has a match, and then they take out his mask, and then he becomes a werewolf. How did he become a werewolf if he was a vampire? I have no idea. But the movie's a mess. But it's a fine mess, and it's a funny mess if you watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000. So, what do I overall? This movie will be a C plus on the cheesy scale, C plus B minus, because it has so many things that are laughable. So it's more like a comedy. I wouldn't. One of the things that it makes it more fun is that the first half of the movie they treat it so seriously that they're filming this gothic vampire film. Not even close, guys. You know. So why would I would definitely recommend you to check out this movie. I would say that definitely if you're gonna check it out, if you watch the Mystery Science Theater version, it goes from a C plus B minus to I would say a B plus, definitely, because it just has so many good things to riff. The jokes are pretty good in that episode. Definitely enjoy it. So so I will continue to explore the beauties of of Mexican cheesy horror as long as you guys keep wanting me to. Let me know if you guys want me to review any other cheesy movie. I'll promise to find a better one than this one. This one was a little bit of a letdown, but still there's enough meat there for you to enjoy. So you guys enjoy working on so many other films. One Miss Call, the Korean virus movie, the Ring virus movie. So stay tuned, guys. Take care. God bless. Enjoy Samson versus the vampire women. Go El Santo.